On WUFT Midday, the ceasefire deal between Hamas and Israel brings families together again after 700 days.
Local drivers dashing over speed limits is now considered a criminal offense.
Sweater weather approaches Alachua County, a cold front this week with cooler temperatures.
Watching WUFT Midday.
After more than 700 days, all 20 living Israeli hostages held by Hamas are now back in Israel with families and safe. This is WUFT Midday. I'm Catherine Chapman.
And I'm Isabella Heupel. The first phase of President Trump's peace plan is underway. Cheers filling the so-called hostage square as news the hostages had crossed out of Gaza. And the world waits to see if the fragile ceasefire will hold.
President Trump is in Israel to speak before that country's governing body before heading to Egypt for the peace summit. NBC's Alice Barr has the details from Washington.
This morning, the first images of Israeli hostages held for 2 years in darkness and deprivation in Gaza, finally back in the light, transferred by the Red Cross to be reunited with their waiting families. In Tel Aviv's hostage square, Israelis cheering the moment they have prayed and protested for and chanting, "Thank you, Trump," as President Trump addressed the Knesset, Israel's legislature, celebrating the peace deal he brokered.
Generations from now, this will be remembered as the moment that everything began to change.
He earlier declared the war is over, in contrast to Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu warning the military campaign is not over. Israel and Hamas have so far agreed to Phase 1, the exchange of hostages for Palestinian prisoners while the fighting pauses. Israeli forces pull back to new lines within Gaza and desperately needed aid flows in. But thornier questions remain about Hamas disarming and leaving power and how to govern and rebuild Gaza as Palestinians flood back to whatever remains of their homes. For now, though, an emotional release and rejoicing. This hostage family seeing their loved one first by phone as President Trump met with some hostage families before a peace ceremony in Egypt, marking a major diplomatic achievement and long-sought relief after 2 years of devastating war. In Washington, Alice Barr, NBC News.
After a rainy end to the week last week, we have some sunny skies and fantastic fall weather today. UF forecaster Aiden Wacksman is live in the studio to tell us how much longer this cool and dry weather is sticking around.
I'll tell you, if you were wishing for some cooler temperatures, Christmas came early. Take a look at some of these low temperatures from this morning. 57 degrees in Gainesville here. But how about Bronson? 53 degrees for those of us in Levy County. Really nice and cool out there. Lake City, 63. Still cooler, but not quite as cool as the rest of us. And 55 degrees in Lake City. So staying nice out there. Not a cloud in the sky as well. Look at this. All blue out there. Barely any winds at about 3 miles an hour. 79 degrees right now. Should warm up to about the low 80s a little bit later today. But it's just a great day to get outside. Wonderful, wonderful weather. This low pressure that was here causing all this rain at the end of last week has moved off the coast and is affecting South Carolina and North Carolina right now as a nor'easter, but we're getting some winds from the north, and that's pulling in some cooler, drier air for us here in north central Florida, so that'll be some really nice weather to look forward to for the rest of the week. This dry air continues to push in all the way through Friday, and coming up, I'll let you know just how nice homecoming could be.
4 people are arrested in Ocala after using fake $50 bills to target businesses and receive change. When OPD found the 4 individuals, police recovered counterfeit bills, drugs, and other substances from the car. Officials say they drove from Osceola County to Ocala and carried out the scams. Starbucks, Waffle House, and Ulta Beauty were affected. All 4 suspects are facing charges.
It's been 100 days since Florida's super speeder law made extreme speeding a criminal offense. The law, specifically called dangerous excessive speeding, went into effect on July 1st. Drivers going 50 miles or more over the limit or 100 miles per hour now face jail, fines, and mandatory court appearances. Since the law started, Florida Highway Patrol and local sheriffs have arrested dozens of drivers statewide, some exceeding 150 miles per hour. Law enforcement hopes the tougher penalties will cut down on reckless driving and crashes. Here in Gainesville, drivers say they're paying more attention to their speed.
Ever since this law came into effect, it's made me realize that my safety is more important than speeding or getting to my destination faster.
Speeding contributes to nearly 29% of all traffic deaths in the United States. According to the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, law enforcement says the super speeder law aims to reduce reckless driving and save lives on roads.
An Instagram account is starting a campus-wide scavenger hunt for money.
WUFT's Heather McKenzie shows how an online idea is turning into a viral competition.
At the University of Florida, students and staff race through campus to find hidden cash.
Did somebody already take it?
A viral Instagram account called Find the Money Gator posts clues online, leading followers to hidden cash around UF. The page is run by an anonymous man named Cody, who says it's all about giving back.
So with hiding money, for me, it got me really excited because it can go super viral, but it's also just a win-win for everyone involved.
Cody now funds the giveaways with money he earns from sports betting. Since he lives in Texas, UF student Quinyon Tion hides the cash around campus.
In a world where everything has become so divisive and stuff like that, just having something that people all love, which is money, can really bring together a campus.
For UF student Aaron Forgas, the search has become a full-on competition.
It's turned into a full track and field race.
And for UF staff member Landon Dew, finding the cash was pure luck, being at the right place at the right time.
I mean, yeah, you can never complain about free money, so I'll take it.
Oftentimes, Tion does not make finding the money easy for those on the scavenger hunt.
There was a Sunday afternoon where he put it 80 feet up a tree across the street from Max, and 4 or 5 people tried to climb it, but I was the only one who could get up there.
What started as an online idea has turned into a campus-wide scavenger hunt, bringing gators together one clue at a time. Heather McKenzie, WFT News.
Authorities say 6 people died after a mass shooting in Mississippi. It happened after the local high school's homecoming game. As Bethel Miles reports, the community of just 3,700 people is shaken.
If you were standing next to somebody and you seen something, man, or you seen somebody who's doing that shooting, man, report that.
Social media footage capturing loved ones outside the Delta Health System's medical center the night of the Leland homecoming mass shooting.
We ask the public to recognize that they have a role in this investigation.
The FBI's Jackson Field office is leading the investigation alongside state and local law enforcement, asking for the public's help to identify these 4 people they say are connected to the shooting.
Speak up, share, give us that opportunity to get these subjects off the street.
The FBI Jackson has also established a digital media tips website to collect any video or photos from anyone that was at the intersection of 4th Street and North Main Street on Friday night.
Better picture. There was a body right here. There were 2 right here. There's one in front of here.
Like Mildred Michael.
All you saw was people sitting down or standing around crying because they were starting to identify the different people that was laid out.
And so far, Leland's fire chief confirmed the mass shooting took 6 lives, with at least 6 others in critical condition.
Tragedy here in the city of Leland, our heart hurt. We mourning, everybody mourning. Even for the people that's not from Leland, don't nobody deserve what happened,
Officials say more casualties are possible as the investigation continues, but the search remains active tonight for this woman in a white T-shirt, a man in an orange jacket, another man in an orange and white jogging suit, and a man in a black graphic tee, all seen in the area the moments gunfire let out.
We're going to rise again. Our community is going to get past this. We're going to heal together like we've always done.
More information continues to be discovered by officials regarding the devastating blast at a Tennessee explosives plant. As Kelly Avellino reports, officials are continuing the recovery process.
As bomb technicians continue to comb through a leveled plant filled with hazardous material, Governor Bill Lee visited a church Sunday to console loved ones of the 16 employees who will never come home.
Tears and stunned silence, quite frankly, from most of them in a situation of real grief.
Lee said counselors and other types of support are on hand. He also took a helicopter tour of what's left of the factory that produced military-grade explosives.
The fact that where there was a full functioning facility, there's virtually nothing. That this magnitude of the blast was felt 20 and 30 miles away.
The explosion Friday morning at the Accurate Energetic Systems facility registered a 1.6 on the Richter scale. Agents from ATF, TBI, and local sheriff's offices stressed how bomb and chemical experts must clear the site foot by foot, pinpointing and dismantling any live explosives.
They were going in a very slow and methodical way, one step at a time, to identify if there was explosive material that had been kicked out from the initial blast.
Smaller controlled blasts are also ongoing. The governor says it could take months before officials determine exactly what caused the explosion.
I think it's early, right? We don't know what happened. That's exactly what's happening here on the ground today, is to get an understanding really of what's happened.
And just as importantly, to identify the remains of the victims. TBI says it's testing DNA on site.
We're using the newest technology, rapid DNA, here on site. And so as remains are brought to us, we will be testing those to do matches so that we're able to identify individuals and provide those answers to the families.
The Trump administration is reversing some layoffs at the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. The decision affects hundreds of scientists who received incorrect notifications. The reversed layoffs come after the administration's move to lay off thousands of federal workers during the government shutdown, prompting backlash from critics who argue the layoffs are illegal. Those layoffs are now being challenged in court.
The 2026 Nobel Peace Prize was awarded Friday to Venezuelan opposition leader Maria Corina Machado. The Nobel Committee announced their decision Friday morning. The committee recognized Machado for keeping the flame of democracy burning amidst a growing darkness. The 58-year-old Machado lives in hiding after attempting to run against President Nicolas Maduro. She leads the Vente Venezuela opposition party. Machado emerged as a late Peace Prize favorite on online betting platforms hours before the decision came, despite speculation that President Donald Trump might win the prize for his role helping broker a ceasefire between Israel and Hamas.
Hello, sunshine. It's looking great out there, and it should be that way the rest of the week. You can put the rain gear away for a little bit. I'll let you know what you can expect coming up next.
You're watching WUFT-TV News.
Mile marker 405 with steady traffic and clear roads this afternoon. UF forecaster Aiden Wacksman is live in the studio to tell us more about what we can expect with the cold front this week. Aiden?
We actually haven't even cracked the 80s yet today in temperatures for most of us. North Central Florida staying around the high 70s at the moment, 79 in Bronson, 77 down in Ocala. But no one really cooler than 77 for the most part, but still not even at the 80s yet today and making for some really nice weather out there. Not a cloud in sight, 79 degrees, very low humidity value, so it's pretty dry out there. No more of that muggy Florida heat right now, and we're hoping it'll be that way throughout the rest of the fall because this is the kind of fall weather we're looking for here in Florida. Our high temperatures today getting no more above really the low to mid 80s, 83 in Gainesville, 82 in Lake City here. And along the coast, a little bit cooler because of some onshore flow, but not much cooler. Should be some lower temperature differentials on the coast, but on land, we could see differences between highs and lows of about 30 degrees. Tonight, 59 degrees in Live Oak and Lake City, Sewanee and Columbia County staying pretty cool out there. For the rest of us, should be around the low 60s, but don't be too surprised if you see some high 50-degree temperatures later tonight. This dry air pushing in behind this cold front with that pass. Now all this dry air is rolling in, and that actually should continue throughout the rest of the week. This dry air is here to stay, so you can put that rain gear away for a little bit. This low pressure is actually a nor'easter that's spinning off the coast right now of the Carolinas and also around the New York area, stirring up a lot of waves and winds over there. But what that's actually doing for us is because of the counterclockwise rotation of that low pressure, it's pulling in some drier, cooler air, and that's why it feels so great out there today. We got a lot of factors making for some beautiful weather, and that actually continues Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday in Ocala. Great week to get outside. Really sunny skies, pretty nice temperatures, drier weather, and cooler weather. Now we're going to track the tropics really quickly. This is Tropical Storm Lorenzo. It formed earlier this morning, and right now pretty disorganized system, trying to get some convection started around the center there, but still struggling a little bit. Some dry air out there too. 50-mile-an-hour winds, but what really matters is where this storm is headed, and that is out to sea. Another fish storm going all the way to our east, thousands and thousands of miles away from us. This is the 12th named storm this year. That's a little bit below the National Hurricane Center's expectation at the moment, but the hurricane season does continue through November 30th, and we'll keep tracking the tropics for you right here at WUFT. Plenty of clear skies out all the way through tonight into tomorrow, cooling down to about those upper 50s, low 60-degree temperatures, staying pretty cloudless even through tomorrow, mostly sunny, maybe partly cloudy at most. On Wednesday, we could see some more clouds roll in, though. Those kind of push in into the afternoon hours, but still, what matters is not a lot of rain out there, so should be a pretty nice one. A homecoming parade on Friday, looking like it'll be great out there. I'll have one final look at the weather coming up in about 10 minutes or so.
President Donald Trump says he will impose an additional 100% tariff on Chinese exports on top of the existing 30% tariffs. He said it takes effect November 1st or sooner, and saying the U.S. will impose export controls on any and all critical software. The action is in response to China ramping up export controls on critical rare earth minerals, which are needed to produce many electronics. Trump is scheduled to meet with the Chinese leader later this month.
Air travelers are being told to pack their patience this Columbus holiday weekend. The Federal Aviation Administration is reporting staffing shortages at a growing number of its facilities on Friday. That's led to flight delays at multiple airports. The reported FAA operations that are running with fewer than optimal air traffic controllers, including Central Florida. Air traffic controllers are considered essential employees. They must work during the government shutdown despite not being currently paid.
In Wisconsin, there's a bar in a small town that's focusing its atmosphere on women's sports. As Sam Swartz reports, it's one family's local effort to keep their athletic legacy alive.
Madison's bar roster just got a little bigger.
It's going to be a live blues music and sports bar, along with great soul food.
But the newest addition, Burnell's, isn't quite like the rest.
In the sports, we're going to highlight women's-centered sports. We'll be the only bar in Madison that is doing that, and I'm very excited about that.
Soon, these ketchup bottles will be full, TVs will be on the walls, and the bar will be filled with all types of sports fans.
There's been conversation that if I say women-centered, that men won't want to come, and that's so not true.
Rita Adair has a deep connection to sports.
My family is very athletic. I have a nephew in the NFL. My father was a bodybuilder. My mother was a national swimmer. So I have a lot of history in being around sport. This is Burnell's nephew, Amani Hooker, number 37 with the Titans.
Rita was also connected to sports through her late wife, Burnell Hooker, who the bar is named after.
She was a women's basketball coach and taught the business of sports. And she also was just an avid fan of women's sports. And she always wanted to own a women's sports bar.
Making sure Burnell's wish falls through the net.
It feels incredible. Burnell was humble, and she didn't brag about herself at all. She's made history in women's sports, especially in Wisconsin. So I wanted to carry that on for her.
Serving up a community where anyone can enjoy women's sports, no matter who walks through the door.
This isn't just the only women's bar. This is a bar for sports that's going to make sure that women are seen.
Depending on where you live, you need to listen up before you feed your four-legged friend. Raw Bistro Pet Fare is recalling some of its frozen beef dog food because of a possible salmonella contamination. The dog fare grass-fed beef entree was sold in 3-pound bags and in 18-pound cases. The products were sold between September 1st and September 17th of this year to consumers and distributors in California, Colorado, Illinois, and Minnesota.
Coming up in sports, we recap Gators' loss at Texas A&M.
Plus, we will tell you how one high school football team fared in their matchup, all that and more after the break.
I'm Abigale Dressback. This weekend, the Gators fell short to the Texas A&M Aggies. With a final score of 34-17, the Florida Gators now find themselves 2-4. Once again, freshman wide receiver Dallas Wilson showcased his talent by being responsible for one of the 2 touchdowns the Gators scored. After being tied 14-14 at the end of the first, due to mistakes made by the defense and offense struggling to score, the Aggies took the lead. Florida's comeback hopes were demolished when DJ Lagway fumbled on a strip sack. Football aside, this weekend was a busy one for the Gators. On Friday, the volleyball team won a home match 3-1 against number 25 Missouri and beat soccer Mississippi State 2-1 at the Diz. Sunday, the volleyball team got another home win where they beat Vanderbilt 3-1. Gator softball had their first fall ball game this Sunday where they defeated Florida Vibe 14-3. Fall ball schedules were released, and baseball has one game on Halloween at Jacksonville. Their other game is on November 9th at home against Georgia Southern. Softball has 7 more games within the next month. PK Yonge is now 0-7 as they lost on Friday 50-7 to Specially Fit Academy. Despite forcing 4 turnovers, the Blue Wave struggled all game. With no offensive touchdowns, head coach Willie Jackson spoke on the loss. For more on Gator sports, including news from the Billy Napier press conference, come back here to catch First at 5. That's your Midday Sports. I'm Abigale Dressback.
Now let's take a look at what's coming up on First at 5 on Channel 5.
A Dixie County deputy is expected to make a full recovery after he was shot on the job. We'll tell you how neighboring law enforcement agencies work together to bring him to safety.
Plus, we're continuing to track a cold front bringing fall temperatures to you throughout the week. That and more tonight on First at 5 on Channel 5.
You know, the rain last week was really bringing the mood down.
Yeah, I'm sure a lot of you guys at home noticed you probably needed your umbrellas last week. So, Aiden, should we expect the same thing this week?
No rain gear needed this week, guys. It's looking pretty nice out there. Let's take a look at our campus cam. Clear skies. This week, hey, if you want to get out the grill, walk the dog, take a walk outside, this is the week to do it. It's looking great out there. 79 degrees out, just not even a cloud. Some really dry weather expected over the next couple of days, and that should continue all the way through the end of the week. We actually have no rain chances all the way through Friday and Saturday. Now, I'm never going to say that there's a 0% chance of rain. There's always a possibility for a stray shower, but overall, it's looking like it's going to be mostly clear out there. And homecoming on Friday, a great day for the parade. No need to worry about rain. Should be pretty clear out there and pretty nice. And maybe if you get up early in the morning, if you get up early enough, you might even need a jacket out there.
Thanks for joining us for WUFT Midday. We're back here tomorrow for another edition.
We will see you later today on Channel 5 at First at 5. Have a great afternoon.